Pregame.com.
We've got Dave Essler in the studio. That's all I got to say. RJ Bell here at the pregame.com studios, just off the Vegas Strip. We've got Virginia Tech, Wisconsin, deep dive from the one and only Dave Essler. Dave, you're a legend, and I think that's a fair word in the pregame.com forums. And you write up so much great content. You came out to Vegas for the tournament, got you in the studio. Who do you like in this game?
I like Virginia Tech. I like Virginia Tech a lot, but I think it's...
So they're a 5.5-point underdogs in this one.
Correct. If I'm going to take an underdog, I'm going to take an underdog that's not going to need the points.
So you like them even straight up here?
It's a fade of Wisconsin. It's a fade of the Big Ten.
Okay. So in general, you think the Big Ten's overrated?
Well, I think that Vegas does too.
If Vegas thinks they're overrated, wouldn't that be built in the number?
It is, but you know why? Virginia Tech plays in the ACC. The ACC's got 3 teams sitting there as 2s and 1s that are 12-1, 6-1, and 5-1. The Big Ten's regular season champion, Purdue, is a 4 seed, 30-1. Their conference tournament winner, Michigan, is a 7 seed, 80-1. I mean, that tells me all I need to know about the Big Ten.
So why do you think Wisconsin's such a big favorite here?
That's a good question.
Is it just because there's more public money?
It's their name. You know, they're Wisconsin. They're the Badgers. They did what they did for years under Bo Ryan. I mean, it's strictly
Is this new coach? Do you think this new coach is in the same universe?
I did, but I don't. I mean, I think I'm seeing guard kind of go down the hill here at the end, and I expected that last year, but I'm certainly seeing that this year, and that's another reason I really like Virginia Tech. I think Williams has a big advantage over him right now.
All right, let's talk rest, right? Because these kids play the entire year, usually 2 games a week at max. Mm-hmm. And now you've got teams that's played more than that, and in this case, it's a disparate result, as in Wisconsin has played more, Virginia Tech less.
Wisconsin played 3 games in 3 days. They played Sunday in Washington. Then they fly to Madison. Now they got to fly to Buffalo.
All right, so it's not only, this is a Thursday game.
Correct.
So 1 less day of rest.
Right.
3 straight days, which you're not used to, and travel.
And travel, and you got Virginia Tech, who will have had a full week off.
Okay. And so sometimes that, and plus, when you have a full week off, it's a sign you didn't do so well in your tournament, which the public tends to react to.
True. But what I'm also seeing here is a huge matchup problem. Wisconsin doesn't see teams like Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech sees a couple of teams, Miami and Virginia, that play very much like Wisconsin. They beat Miami, they beat Virginia, they'll beat Wisconsin. Wisconsin is a terrible free throw shooting team, 63%.
So let's talk about that.
All right.
Because you always want to make your free throws, right? I'd love a team to be 100%, right? But I think that a poor free throw shooting team, when they're a middling favor, in this case 5.5, that's in theory, if the game plays the way you would expect, free throw shooting is going to be a big deal in this game.
Well, I have a rule of my own. I won't take a team that shoots less than 70% from the line. I mean, that's almost sort of one of my 10 commandments.
Now, here's the thing. Listeners, viewers might be saying, yeah, but what happens if they're getting a ton of points? I think, the line's just way off. I think what you're saying is a poor free throw shooting team, probably that limitation isn't properly considered by the market, and it's just hard to overcome that as a factor the market doesn't properly consider. And when they're poor at it, that means you got to climb out of a hole back in that team, and you just don't want to do that.
Well, and I don't want to do that, especially a team like Wisconsin. If that game's as close as they think it's going to be.
Yeah, and when I was saying the way we expected to play based on this line,
so say it is, and it comes down to a foul fest down the end, and Wisconsin's up 2 or 3 or 4. Do I want to be on the Badgers shooting 63% from the line to try to cover it at the line? I want as many ways as I can win as possible.
Plus, there's more pressure. If you're going to have any trouble, it's going to be in the tournament.
And actually, they were 61% in the Big Ten this year. I mean, that's terrible.
I'm following you, and I like it so far. And I love when you, with your winning history, talking about an underdog winning outright. I love that. last topic, let's talk a little bit about Wisconsin, the way they play. And you've touched on this a little bit, Virginia Tech, and specifically the perimeter.
Specifically the perimeter, Wisconsin allows teams 38% make from behind the arc. That is, I believe, 306 out of 351 teams.
So really bad.
That's terrible. Virginia Tech shoots 40%. That's about 9th in the country. They play the game on the perimeter, so any length advantage Wisconsin has isn't going to matter. Virginia Tech's not a great rebounding team. It's not going to matter. You know, it's a matchup thing. If you look at who beat Wisconsin before they played in the Big Ten this year, they lost to Creighton. Creighton shot over them. They lost to North Carolina. North Carolina pressured them, and Virginia Tech will shoot over them and pressure them. And Virginia Tech has seen Wisconsin's style. Wisconsin hasn't seen Virginia Tech style. Maybe the closest thing is Purdue, but they just don't see a team like that in the Big Ten.
I tell you, what I loved about this as we wrap up is, you know, Fezzik has his approach. Brad Powers has his. Your emphasis on the matchups, I love that because I think the public so rarely even knows how to handicap that way. Really good stuff. Let's talk about it officially. We got Dave Essler, Virginia Tech, as his free pick, plus 5.5 right now. More videos, pregame.com.